Hi, my name is Elizabeth, and I'm going to be presenting Chapter 4 on effective instruction and accommodative practices. So these are examples of a couple of classrooms. Can you take a moment and write down what you see with each classroom? There are several things that a teacher needs to consider when they plan the layout of their classroom. They need to consider the needs of all of their children. They also need to consider the number of staff who will be in the classroom and how to place them so that the environment is most beneficial to all children. If a teacher uses a daily schedule, they will increase their learning time by making adult interactions meaningful ones. This allows the classroom teacher to assign zones, allowing children to move between adults instead of adults moving all of their materials and causing more disruption to learning time. A schedule also allows for a teacher to place staff where disruption occurs the most and offers stability to the classroom. When one walks into an early childhood classroom, one will see that there are clearly defined centers that allow for purposeful learning to happen in each one and social-emotional learning happening all the time. Filling centers with materials that are both challenging or easily accomplished will build skills for all children. Children will peer teach, building both children's skill set, and adults should always be available to model or teach. Controlling access to the centers will make the children go to centers where they are challenged and always learning new skills. One thing that's very important in early childhood is a transition activity. I would like you to take a moment and write down a transition activity that you like to use or have seen be most effective in your observations. There are many things that go into planning for instruction. One thing a teacher can use is a thematic unit to promote active learning. This allows for a teacher to teach from unknown to known, concrete to abstract, and simple to difficult. This allows a teacher to introduce a topic one week, introduce more difficult topics the week or weeks after, and then a compilation week where the kids can show off how much they have learned. There are 4 stages of learning that every child goes through as they learn. Acquisition is the first stage where a skill is demonstrated and explained to the child. The second stage is proficiency, where the child demonstrates they can perform the new skill easily, which is called fluency. The third stage is maintenance, where the student shows that they have retained the skill over time and without needing direct instruction to perform the already learned skill. The last stage is generalization, where the student demonstrates the skill not in a setting where they were originally taught and shows the child's concrete knowledge of the skill. There are 3 ways that educators can use to facilitate learning. Direct instruction is when a teacher uses instructions, gives opportunities to practice skills, and then gives time for a child to show their mastery of skills. One tool used during direct instruction is called applied behavior analysis. This is a type of therapy that looks at what motivates a child or what sets them off during learning time so that a child's behavior no longer impacts their learning process. Applied behavior analysis is used for children who are not developing normally because they need more than just a typical learning environment. Direct instruction is going to look different when one is working with infant, toddlers, or preschoolers, or when one is working with primary age children. In infants through preschoolers, direct instructions should only last 5 to 10 minutes due to their attention span. A teacher should use high engagement activities, then at the end use a recall session so that a child can recall what they just learned, so the teacher ensures learning happened. In primary age children, a teacher should complete the following steps for direct instruction: explain the skill to be learned, teach the skill by modeling, give the children time to practice a skill. The teacher then should monitor for correctness and correct the child's work if necessary, or praise for correctness. The teacher should then provide different opportunities to use the skill in order to assure maintenance and generalization occur. With primary age children, during direct instruction comes a time to teach expectations for behavior during learning routines in order to make it most beneficial to the learner. Naturalistic instruction is the most common technique used to teach infants, toddlers, and preschoolers, but it is also very effective to use with children who have disabilities or delays. Naturalistic instruction happens when a child is doing something they do all the time. This capitalizes on the child's interests and makes the learning meaningful. The consequences are natural. A child gets what they request instead of a sticker that might not mean anything to them. The outcome of naturalistic instruction should always remain the same because it teaches the child follow-through regardless of the situation. Embedded learning can happen both at home or in center-based programs, and happen all the time because everyone is always learning. For example, if a child expresses an interest to cook at home, a parent can provide all the necessary tools for cooking and then encourage a child to make more complicated dishes. Embedded learning happens in a center-based program through centers. A teacher can provide a wide variety of center activities with different levels of ability. This encourages children to explore and find what they like. A teacher then can expand specific centers they see their children like and build their skills through play. I'm now going to show you a video of naturalistic instruction. This happened one day on our way home from school. This is my youngest son and my nephew and my daughter.
Anyuk. Anyuk. And what is that? Boat. What is that? What is that? Say ding soon. What are you saying? Say ding soon. It's it. Ding soon. Airplane.
Ding soon, Matt.
An airplane.
Ding soon.
Airplane.
Ding soon.
Airplane. Ding soon.
Yuchtun. Ding soon.
Yeah.
Ding soon.
Airplane.
Ding soon.
Matt, no waiting it. You are quiet.
Ding soon.
Quiet.
Where's the ding soon?
All the way over there, probably hard in your like.
So you can see how my youngest son is learning Yupik. He is in the Yupik full day immersion program through Cookin' at Native Head Start. My nephew and my daughter attend the Alaska Native Cultural Charter School, where they receive Yupik language instruction several times a week. So Emilio was showing his generalization of the Yupik language to my son, who is learning the language, and also how they both relate real everyday items to a different language. There are several strategies that one can use to develop skills in children through age 8. Prompting is when a teacher provides a signal, cue, or assistance seeking a specific response from a child. These happen verbally, gesturally, pictorially, or physically. If prompting happens too often, it can lead to self-doubt in early childhood. Teachers can avoid this by using gesture prompts instead of the others for behavior change. Modeling is when a teacher demonstrates a task and is a good strategy for working with children who have receptive or expressive language delays. Response contingent feedback is when a teacher provides verbal feedback on a child's performance. Using phrases like "good job" is very universal and could be misconstrued for a teacher praising a child for just putting the toys away, but the teacher really wanted the children to put the toys away in their specific bins. Therefore, the teacher should have said "thank you for putting the toys away in their bins" and not mixing them up. Manned model is a questioning technique. A teacher will ask a question and wait for an answer. If a child doesn't respond or answer incorrectly, the teacher will then respond verbally the correct answer. This is not best practice for children with low social skills or communication issues. Active student responding is another way to engage learning. For example, during a spelling lesson, a teacher can have their class repeat a word, then find it in a sentence, and then highlight or underline it. This can also happen in early childhood, and one way to do it is with shapes. A teacher can say the name of a shape while pointing to it, have the children then air draw it, and find an object in the classroom that is a circle, and then point back to the circle that the teacher was originally using.